We have a saying for folks who work in the church. We say that faith is not taught, it's caught. Faith isn't one of those things that you can pick up a book like a Bible and study and then grow in your faith. It's not one of those things that you go and you take tests of the 10 Commandments or the Lord's Prayer and then somehow you sort of get it. Faith is actually something that is much more subtle. It's something that's watched and witnessed and wondered about. When Jesus first recruited a group of fishermen to follow him, he didn't sit there and say, hey, you got to pass these tests first before you come and follow me. He didn't hand them a book to sort of memorize. Instead, all Jesus said was, follow me, watch me, learn from me, witness what I'm doing, how I interact with people, how I communicate with God the Creator. Pay attention to what I'm doing and see if that happens for you. Now, friends, I had a weird mom growing up. At least I thought my mom was weird. My mom was this faithful, devout Christian woman who never really pushed her faith on us as kids. Instead, what she did, she pointed it out. She'd sit there and say something like, oh my gosh, I heard this song on the radio and it was just what I needed right now. It's just how God saw me. Or a bluebird would fly overhead and she'd be like, oh, there's God. Or a preacher would give a compelling message and she'd write a little verse down from that message and stick it on the windshield of her car and say, that's just exactly what I needed. That was God right now. My mom was, in so many ways, for me growing up, she was a God spotter. And I thought it was weird. I didn't see my friends' moms doing that. I didn't see my friends' moms seeing like God in a song or a bird or a quote. But then when I grew up and I became on my own and I started thinking and wondering about God's work in the world, wondering where God was, what would happen to me is that I'd hear a song on the radio and I'd think, oh, is that God? Or I'd see a bird and I'd get chills on the back of my neck. I thought, oh my gosh, she was doing this the whole time. Faith is not taught, it's caught. It's modeled, it's lived after, and it's breathed into us. Now I get that I was kind of lucky to have a weird mom, even though I didn't appreciate her at the time. But here's the truth. Not all of us know how to be those weird moms. I mean, maybe we're weird in some other parts of our lives, but not all of us know how to just sort of like catch faith on to our kids. We want our kids to grow up faithful. We wish for it. We hope for it. We just don't know how to do it. And friends, this is what this series is all about. How to pass faith on to the next generation. How to raise the next generation to the kids you care for, to your grandkids, to the students that surround you. Sociologist Christian Smith conducted an interview-style research project over hundreds of families who self-identified that faith was an important part of their life and how they lived. They were interviewed. It was cross-denominational, and actually it was even cross-religious, people with different faith expressions. After they'd conducted this huge research study, they concluded that there is only one primary way that faith is passed from one generation to the next. It's parents. It's parents and caregivers. It is a caring adult in that kid's life. That's it. It's like when Jesus said to those disciples, follow me. But if you look at church history, we can see where for generations, this is how faith was passed on. Parents found it their responsibility to make sure that they educated and caught their kids in faith lives. But then somewhere the paradigm shifted. If you look at churches across America, you'll see huge education wings that were built in about the late 1960s or early 1970s. Those huge education wings, oftentimes today, they sit empty. You see, after World War II, we had a whole generation, the baby boom. And the church decided that the best way to educate the baby boom was to bring them into the church, was to bring them in for education. Let the professionals handle their spirituality. Let the professionals like clergy or Sunday school superintendents or teachers. You see, we shifted it. Faith was no longer caught like it was for generations before. Instead, we made faith into this educational thing. Faith then was taught. It was turned into an academic exercise where you had to complete objectives. And parents and caregivers, they sort of watched from the sidelines and started to feel ill-equipped to guide and equip their own children. And they often deferred to church professionals like clergy and youth pastors and youth directors as the experts in building faith. On comes the next generation after the baby boomers, Gen X, my generation. We grow up and become adults of our own. And then what you end up seeing is this rapid decline in the involvement in the church. It's been nicknamed by these same researchers as the nones, the Nones. Less and less people would call themselves Christian or actually affiliate with any faith background whatsoever. A few years later, the internet developed and technology sort of came and expanded our worldview globally. We can talk to friends from across the globe immediately, giving us even more challenges for passing on the faith. I think it was all these different changes that left parents and caregivers feeling like, I don't know what to do, to feeling ill-equipped, where we don't know exactly how to pass our faith on to the next generation. We don't know how to do this like generations did before. But here's the truth. I think God looks at us today, and I think God says the same thing that Jesus said to those original followers. God says, hey, follow me. Follow me, and I'll show you how to live in your faith so that the next generation can catch on. In Deuteronomy chapter 6, God gives some really clear instructions on how we're supposed to do this, how we're supposed to pass faith on to the next generation. This is actually called the Shema in Deuteronomy 6. It goes like this. It says, "Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, with all your soul, and with all your strength. These commandments that I give to you today, let them be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you're sitting at home and when you're away. Talk about them when you're lying down and when you get up." Now, I love this part of the Shema because think about it. It's so funny. Talk about them when you're at home and when you're away. When are you not either at home or away? Talk about them when you're lying down or when you're getting up. When are you ever not lying down or getting up? It's just basically God's way of saying talk about them just sort of all the time. Oh, hey, look. There's a bluebird. Oh, I got shivers on the back of my spine from that song. That's just what I needed to hear. Oh, those words, that's just what I needed right now. I need to write it down. Parents, caregivers, you don't have to have all the answers. You don't have to have all the answers. When Jesus says, follow me, he's going to equip you with what to do. And that's what these next sessions are all about. Practical ways for us to pass on the faith to the next generation.